In this video, I'm going to show you how to install a plugin so that you can use Google Analytics to track visits on your site, visits, visitors, outbound links, and all sorts of neat stuff using Google Analytics. Now, if you've ever used Google Analytics before, you know that there is a particular piece of code that goes on the web pages that you want to track. Now, when you're building your own HTML pages, it's very simple. You just put the code in right above the closing body tag or something like that. And it's very simple to do, or the closing head tag, excuse me. But on a blog, it's a little bit different because we're not using just straight out HTML pages. We're using PHP, and there's all kinds of code. So to try to do it just by slapping the Google code in there, you can actually render your site inoperable if you're not careful. So there are many plugins out there that make the job very simple. So we're going to do that right now. Alright, let's do this the easy way. In another video I showed you how to install plugins, but let's just go ahead and do it anyway. We'll click Add New under Plugins. And then we're going to go ahead and search plugins. Just type in Analytics. Alright, and click Search. And you'll see that there's several on here. So the next question is, oh my goodness, which one do we pick? So let's do an easy one. This one has almost 5 full stars, and I've used it before, and it's simple to use and pretty effective. So let's go ahead and click Install Now. It will ask you if you're sure. Now remember, on some servers where you're using your WordPress blog, the installation procedure will require you to log in via FTP. Some of them don't require that, such as you just saw. Okay, so if it does require you to type in your FTP username and password, make sure you do that, and then you should still be able to install your plugin. So once it's installed, it'll give you the option right here to activate. We'll go ahead and do that. And as you can see, Ultimate Google Analytics is now installed and activated. So now all that's left is to finish configuring. Now you'll find in your settings area right here, you'll see it put a menu item right here, Ultimate GA. Go ahead and click on that, and it'll take you to the Quickie update right here. So the main thing you're going to need, and the one thing you'll need to set this up and get it running, is your Google Analytics account ID. Now, this assumes you already have a Google Analytics account. If you don't, you'll need to get a Google Analytics account. There are other videos in the members area that go through how to set yourself up with a Google Analytics account. So we're not going to cover that in this video. So what you're going to need to do now is go ahead and log in to your Google Analytics account. And if you didn't already set up an account for your new blog or your new website or whatever it is, then you're going to want to go ahead and do that. So click into your account, and then you're going to go ahead and add a website profile. Okay. Click Add for a new domain. Alright. You can apply your cost data from your AdWords account. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that for now because I'm not using AdWords for this. And then click Finish. Okay. Here is your web property ID. Now, as I spoke of earlier, this is the code that you would normally paste onto your HTML site, but that's not going to work for us here. So what you're going to want to do at this point then is just take the web property ID. I'm going to right click and copy that, and then we'll go ahead and put it right where it belongs, right there. And then we're going to go ahead and click Update Options. Now, checking this first one just checks for updates for the plugin. Checking the second one enables the tracker. Now, we also have an advanced configuration button down here. We'll go ahead and click that. Now, for the most part, you probably won't need to worry about much of these. It's set up in a pretty standard configuration, but you can go ahead and scroll down and look for these. Alright, now tracking admin pages, you notice it's unchecked. All that means is whenever you log into your account as an admin, it's not going to track those hits or visits. Why bother? Okay, you're the admin or somebody who works for you or whatever. You don't need to track those hits, so leave it unchecked. Or you can do the same thing for users above a certain level, and those are determined by how you set them up under general or writing or something. When you're setting up users, you can, whether they're an administrator or an author or just a contributor, you can ignore those users who are logged in. You can enable debugging, okay, but we'll leave that unchecked. Enable or disable tracking of links in the content of your articles. Okay, so you can, track the filter content. Same with comments. You can filter the comments, enable or disable tracking of links in comments. Okay. And so on and so forth. So just go down through and just read a little bit about it. Filter, comment, author links. All right. Here's where you would track your external links. Internal hosts. Host names are considered internal links. These links to these hosts are not tagged as external link. You can specify multiple host names. Okay, this is a little bit more advanced, but you know, if it's not going to hurt anything whether you check it or uncheck, you're not going to break anything, so don't worry about it. But it's helpful to understand what it is you're checking or unchecking. So when in doubt, just leave it the way it's configured out of the box. All right, and then of course you can track download links if you're allowing people to download, you know, zip files or audios or something like that. You can track those. All right, and again, after a few days, a few weeks, or whatever, you go back into your analytics account, and you'll start seeing all the different visits and hits. Now, the last thing you want to do here before we get going here is now that your code is pasted, you're going to want to hit save and finish. Okay. Now what you're seeing here, this exclamation point, simply means that it hasn't picked up the tracking yet. Go ahead and click on edit. Okay. And you can come in here and check status. It will do it on its own, but this kind of forces the issue. All right. Now it'll tell you analytics has been successfully installed and data is now being gathered. All right, so now you're all good to go. Come back in a few days or a few weeks and check on your stats. Thanks.